Hello, I'm Malcolm Haslett, and welcome to a new season of Our Time. Now, the Fringe is coming up, and this time on Our Time, we're actually bringing you the show from one of the Fringe venues here in Adelaide, Star Theatres, with our special guests. I'm not going to tell you. Why don't you watch and find out? And welcome to another year of Our Time. Our very special guests, in fact, we have many special guests on this particular program because we're celebrating the opening week of the Fringe, which comes up next week here in Adelaide. And our first special guest is the amazing...
Ta-da.
What's your name again?
It's
Matt Gilbertson.
Beyonce Knowles. Hello. Malcolm, how are you?
I'm very well.
What a thrill to be here at the historic Star Theatres.
It is historic.
What did it used to be called? Theatre 60?
Theatre 62,
Yes.
back before 2000. So it's for 22 years it's been known as Star Theatres. And of course, this is one of the Fringe hubs because there's a whole lot of shows on here. So what perfect place to talk to you.
Exactly. It's one of my favourite Fringe hubs because it's actually got air conditioning, which, as we know in a lot of those tents, hard to get.
Hard to work in and nowhere to change.
Well, yeah, and then they usually give you a little bit of a makeshift transportable at the back. Yeah.
Yes, not as nice as here.
Not
though.
as nice as here.
However, but we're here to talk about you, and actually to talk about you,
my favourite subject.
as opposed to other characters that you may play.
That other one.
Now, I remember it is a while ago, and I think you were about 19, and I think it was the opening of a club in Hindley Street.
Yes.
And I remember seeing you. I think it was the opening night.
Well, it might have been the opening night for that year because it was called the Weimar Room, and it actually opened as part of the Fringe in 2002, and then I joined in 2003. It was a pop-up venue that they kept open.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But it was your opening night, I believe,
It would have been,
from
yeah,
memory.
so I think it would have been, that first night of the next
So
year.
how did that happen?
That happened,
You were Matt then?
I was Matt then, yeah. Well, yeah, I still am sometimes.
Yes. But
It's hard to know.
Hans hadn't appeared yet.
Not really.
Not
I
really.
was busking during that.
So everyone's
school
now
holiday
worked
break.
out that Matt Gilbertson is possibly another character that we know better.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully. We share the same underwear. I'll put it that way.
Boom, boom.
So I was playing the accordion in Rundle Mall at the Central Market all around kind of that school holiday period. Busking. Teaching myself to play the accordion. And I met Catherine Campbell, wonderful performer here in Adelaide. And she said to me, why don't you come along? There's this great show. It's called Berlin Cabaret. It's in this place called the Weimar Room. I didn't even know what the word cabaret meant, you know?
Okay.
I thought it was like the German club, and I was expecting there to be bands and, polkas.
And old men playing piano chords.
Absolutely. And then I went there during the day and kind of got a sense of what it was. And, everybody had little tables and candles, and it was this mad show that they did every Friday night where everybody pretended to be German. It was a great band, which was Bruce Hancock, the wonderful Bruce Hancock. John Away was on bass. Steve Sheehan was the MC. Hugh Parham was in it. There's some great.
Did you have an act?
I started just playing the accordion in the interval. So I would just go around to people's tables.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yes.
And then I actually think it was Michael Morley who we put the show in for a feast festival. Maybe it was later that year. And he said, you should do something that's not quite a drag queen, but is a little bit out there. And we just put together this costume of like fishnets and little shorts. And the top half was kind of a vest and a shirt and a hat, which was my grandpa's hat.
Yes.
And the bottom half was kind of, hot pants and everything. And I put lashes on. And it kind of started from there.
And grew.
Yeah, just more feathers.
Well,
more
but you've morphed like Barry Humphries morphed.
Kind
into
of,
Dame
yeah.
Edna. When you look at the early stuff,
It's very different.
he wasn't in drag then. He was just a man
He was in like a house,
housewife
housewives.
suit. Yeah. He was a housewife then, not a superstar.
Yeah.
That's what's happened to Hans.
Yeah.
It is Hans, not Hans.
It is Hans, yes.
Hans, because...
Which actually is not really German. It's more German to say Hans.
Yes, I just thought I might ask that question.
Yeah.
So we know your mum makes the costumes.
She does. That is.
And how
very
did
true.
this come about? How did that start?
She's always sewed her whole life. She sews her own clothes. She sewed clothes for other people. She used to have to, I went to jazz and tap classes growing up, so she sewed my costumes then. And eventually it just became a thing where, we would get creative and we go to the shops together. We kind of work out what each costume's going to look like. And yeah, she's busy at the moment. I'll put it that way.
Well, she's busy at the moment because you have a show coming up in the Fringe, which is probably the biggest show you've put together.
Ever, yes. It's with an 18-piece orchestra. It's with 7 singers and dancers who are amazing.
They are. I've seen them rehearsing.
You have. And it's called A Night at the Symf, Honey. You got it.
Yes, I know. I just love the whole thing because having seen some of your rehearsals, it's sort of old Hollywood, New Vegas.
Yeah.
It's pure entertainment.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
That's what we want. And it's 2 years since we've done a new show. So, I do feel a little bit like, oh God, this is a huge risk coming back after, COVID or still during COVID.
Well, true. But you had everything set up after America's Got Talent. Just how did that come about? Because a lot of people don't understand how that works.
Yes. So, obviously they do like open call auditions like they do on the show, but they also have people casting the show. And I had taken my show to Edinburgh in
To the largest Fringe.
2017.
Now you're in the second
largest Fringe. So 2017 I was there, and then I got this email afterwards saying, "Hi, I'm a producer from Hollywood and I'm casting this show." And the email read like the Nigerian prince, send me your bank details and I've got $1 million. That's what I thought it was. But then I spoke to them on the phone and I kind of worked out where I would fit in that show. Because, people think of like a show like America's Got Talent or X Factor or Idol as a competition. Because that's how it's marketed.
It's a variety show.
It's a variety show, exactly. And once I started thinking of it more like that, I could work out where I fit in between the circus and the,
Yes, it's funny, isn't it, how variety has morphed into a competition.
Yeah.
And it's a real shame because variety performers are probably the most entertaining.
Exactly.
Nothing against actors acting, but schmacting and acting.
Yeah.
But to see something you can laugh at, that you can smile at, we don't really have enough comedy.
I think somehow this word of a variety show was tainted into something that people don't really realise. But look at most of the shows at Fringe, these big Spiegel-TED shows, they're variety shows.
Exactly. And they're also doing the circuit like the old vaudeville shows used to do.
It's like an old vaudeville show.
It's not around Australia anymore, it's around the world.
The world, yeah.
Starting in Edinburgh and then coming to,
here,
later
Melbourne,
coming to Perth and
Perth,
here and so on. So who writes your show?
Well,
because it has to come somewhere.
Yeah, it's never really written down. There's a lot of dot points, and they're in my mind. But every night is always different.
Yep.
I'll put it that way. It always depends on what's happening in the news, who's in the audience, what's happened that day. I don't think any 2 shows are the same. We might do the same songs.
No, but that's what's lovely about it because it's real.
Yeah.
It's actually real. It's really happening.
For me, that's kind of the joy of going. That's what separates Cabaret from a musical theatre show or a play or something.
You're not locked into
You're not locked into. It is breaking that fourth wall.
Yep.
It's acknowledging what's happening all around you.
Do you find it difficult to stay in the character?
I find it difficult not to be in the character, especially if I've had a little drink or honey kind of comes out.
It's amazing. But speaking of writing, I brought that up because obviously you're also a writer for The Press.
Yes, The Press.
The Press. Where does all that come from? Where do you get the information for the things you write about?
Well, it's people you interview, it's contacts, it's some PR people. It's all, I've been doing it for
But is it also Facebook and Instagram? Do you keep an eye on what's happening
there's a little bit of that. That's definitely changed a lot since I started doing it.
So you also play piano. Did you start with piano?
Yeah, I was classical piano kind of the whole way along. I went to the conservatorium for a little bit.
These are some things people don't know about.
These are some of the things that people don't know.
Exactly.
And these are some of the things we'll be putting into the show, finally,
Oh,
this year.
really? Have you got a grand piano on stage?
I do. Well, this is the good thing about COVID is I've actually had a lot of time to practice over the last 2 years.
Well, I've been watching some of that and making pavlovas.
I've made a lot of pavlovas, yeah. You saw them?
I keep up to.
Yeah, good.
Look, with the show, it's very simple because people can buy tickets just at Fringe Ticks and so on. But as you said, this is a brand new show. And where is it?
It's at Thebe Theatre, the iconic Thebe Theatre. It's the last weekend of Fringe. So it's Thursday, Friday and Saturday, 17th, 18th and 19th of March.
Okay.
So it'll be our way of
I can't wait to see it. Having seen the rehearsals, can't wait to see it. Matt, stay with us because some of the dancers on your show are also part of the Men Who Dance show, who are coming up next on Our Time. And welcome back. The guys from Men Who Dance are joining us. Now, we met them last year before they actually did performances as part of the Back to Back Short Show Festival, but they're in the Fringe and the show is a little bit different. So, first of all, let's introduce everybody. The new guy in the cast is Dharuva, who comes from India.
Hello.
And this is Kurt.
Hello.
And Ricky. And probably the guy who's been on Our Time more than anybody else, I think, Charles, and William from Brazil.
You nailed it. That's it.
So how is this show different and what's changed in the show? Let's start with you, Kurt.
Beautiful. Well, we have a new person, so that's a big difference. We've just tweaked a few of the numbers, changed a few things. Look, the last season that we did was successful. It was a great show, but it was also very experimental.
Hit the ground running.
Yeah, definitely. And we learnt what things worked. We learnt what things didn't work quite as well, or what could have worked better. And we've just sort of, tweaked the things that really did work, and then we've just changed and added a few more things that we also think...
A bit longer now as well.
Yeah, it could work as well. And it's a bit longer now, so...
So, Ricky, your participation in the show, because you came from more a hip-hop background or a street dance background?
Yes, very true. So, I've got a few numbers that highlight that. And but yeah, we do. It's a whole bunch of different styles, and we all do different things. So,
so you're doing something different with Dharuva, though.
Yeah, we're having a little dance off.
A little battle.
Call it a dance off. Yeah,
A little dance off.
And is this a whole lot of different styles that you're using?
Yeah, we're taking a little bit of
Jazz.
everything and
A little bit of hip hop.
yeah,
A little bit of
How would you call it?
slapstick.
How would you call this mixture? How would you call it? You can name it. It's yours now. Yeah, you know.
Call it one thing, one name.
One
to
name.
Put them all together.
It's a bag of hat tricks.
Oh,
Cool.
clever.
Well.
Because-
So, William, last time we talked about the fact that this isn't a strip show, but
Okay, yeah.
somehow or other you managed to take clothes off.
No. Okay, hang on.
Well-
If you go to the beach, you know, you're gonna see people wearing less clothes than I'm wearing in the show. So it's not. I wouldn't call it a
Depends on what beach you go to, mate.
Yeah.
Don't know what beach he's
No,
going
just
to.
shirtless, you know. No, even my mom watched the show. You know, she loved it. You know. Yeah, so it's
Family
okay,
friendly.
Family, well, it is.
But
But the nice thing about the show is that it is actually seeing so many different styles of dance all pushed together into one sort of hodgepodge. There's no storyline, but everything that's in the show sort of has a little reason to be there. Is that correct?
Yeah, a little. Like, kind of giving things like a reason as to why that's happening or why one number leads to another or like what's happening in the routine.
But
that
it's
kind of thing.
today type of dance and some of yesterday, because you two do a tap routine that's
I've got a nice tap
pure
routine.
vaudeville.
Yes, very much. The suit, the hat,
All of it.
the whole lot, and the shoes,
gag.
of
Right.
course. Yeah.
The shoes, of course,
Yeah.
to tap. But see,
He
but
does.
Dharuva coming from India, we sort of expect Indian men to do Indian type dance, and that is actually included in the show now, isn't
We
it?
have added a little bit of a classical and Bollywood, a little bit of fusion with Western as well into the show with three of us, William, Charlie, and I, which is actually
Right.
very exciting.
So your background, because you are obviously from India,
Mm-hmm.
and how old are you?
I'm 21, turning 22.
Okay. And you came to Australia from a background of what?
My background is very Western. My first style that I started with was tap, and I moved on to jazz, hip hop, contemporary, recently ballet, a lot of commercial and music theatre. So
And why
now
was that
classical.
though? Why did you get involved in these things?
So my family are full of performance. My mum is a dancer, runs a dance school back home in India in Chennai called the Academy of Modern Dance. My dad used to be a dancer, but currently an actor and a director in the South Indian film industry. So I'm very lucky to be coming from a full performing arts background.
You didn't have much choices.
I didn't. I tried other things. I tried studying in school with like things that would get me money, but instead I
So back at the arts. So back at the arts.
the arts.
Yeah.
It's amazing though, and to have such a diversity of men dancing is very unusual. Your background?
Me? Gymnastics and dance, like ballet, jazz, tap, same kind of stuff. I kind of did the same. Not that I was like forced, not that you were forced into it, but no, I tried a bit of everything: footy, swimming, karate. What else did I do? I don't know, a few things. None of them stuck.
Karate.
Yeah. Can you tell I was good at it? No, but the only things that stuck were ballet and gymnastics first, really, and a bit of tap and stuff, and then just kind of kept going with those. So that's it.
But Ricky, you started more or less late because most people start dancing when they're kids.
I started well after I finished high school. So I was more into visual art, and then after studying visual art, I went into performing arts. I started doing more dance and dance classes, and just haven't stopped since then. So.
And you also teach.
I do. I'm a teacher by day.
Yeah.
Dancer by night.
No, but that's great because you've got the experience of, performing and performance, and you're passing that on to students as well.
That's it.
So, William, you didn't start off as a dancer at all.
No.
No, you've only been in Australia for a couple of years, though.
Oh yeah, I think it's getting close to 3 years now.
So you're a bodybuilder as well.
A fitness model. Yeah,
A fitness
it's
model.
slightly different. It's
Whoa,
smaller,
alright,
you know.
man.
No, it's
But you're
just.
also an actor, and you've
Yeah.
just recently been in one of the shows that's been shown.
Oh yeah, the tourist, the TV
Tourist.
series. You know, it was really amazing, by the way.
I saw you in that.
Oh yeah, I was a bit like round, you know. I was, honestly, I saw
A bit more rotund.
some TV. But it was such a nice show, you know, nice crew, you know. It was really a good experience.
Yeah.
So-
Well, what's interesting is to see the different faces of all five of you. So, Charlie, your background was also starting early.
Yeah, so I started dancing just around the house and everything when I was around 6, 7, and then started doing ballet. And then I was doing sports and ballet at the same time. I mean, ballet is a sport if you, like, whatever way you want to look at it. But I was doing soccer, tennis, and ballet, and then I had to choose out of the three, and then ballet sort of won out. And then I continued and then went full-time, well, half-time, and then went full-time, and then stopped. Yeah.
Well, because people don't really think dance is a proper job, it's hard to equate people skipping to music on stage sort of thing with a proper job. But in actual fact, it really is. And all of you are more or less heading towards it, whether you teach it and perform it, and you're teaching too.
Yeah.
But you're teaching more the tumbling stuff, are you?
Yeah, like acrobatics and acro dance, which is sort of tumbling to music essentially. And
But you're teaching, and you're teaching Daruva as well.
I will be starting teaching soon, but hopefully soon this year.
So, in a way, think about how most people sort of perceive boys who want to dance and you guys dancing. Were you ever sent up at school? Did you have issues with your friends? What sort of happened?
I
in
was
your life?
really like waiting for it, and it never happened. I actually
Getting
got
bullied.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I was
got
like,
bullied.
somebody bully me, somebody do it. I'm ready.
Never
no one did.
karate.
I don't know
Karate.
what
Have you
karate.
had that- yeah, but have any of you had that issue?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, you have.
But they learnt pretty quickly that they were not as strong as me. So, there was a few broken bones, and then that.
Oh, really?
Actually,
Yikes.
yeah. By accident. It wasn't. I didn't
Yeah,
mean
sure.
to break
Accidentally
someone's.
punched them in the jaw.
I accidentally broke their jaw. And then, sorry.
But you love doing lifts and stuff, like
Yeah,
with girls. I
yeah,
think
that's
I
why I
read where
started.
you said in an article when you're about 7 or something in
Yeah,
the
I just
local
wanna
press,
just want to lift girls up
you just want to dance so you can lift girls.
and pick them up. But
Yeah.
So
Wow.
It's pretty
lift.
amazing.
yeah,
So this show is how long?
60 minutes.
Yep.
yeah.
And just try and list off some of the styles of dance in the show.
Tap, hip hop, contemporary, acrobatics, street. Is that a term?
That's a start.
Yep.
Strip.
Bollywood classic.
Bollywood. Classical, like ballet, neoclassical, I guess. There's a bit of song action happening as well.
Oh, that's
bit
the
of
other thing.
and
but
dance.
a bit of
Pretty
song
much
and
everyone
dance.
sings in the show as well. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're doing a jazz number now.
We have a
Fosse.
Fosse jazz number.
Bob Fosse, who is a very well-known choreographer,
Yes.
who really changed the way that everybody danced, but
Yeah.
particularly men. Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Men who dance. That's
Yeah, there's not a lot that we don't really do. Even there's like partner stuff. There's some partner work. That's there.
Yeah, a little
Charlie
bit.
and I have a number that we do classical lifts and big
Chug
kicks
each other.
and whatever, throw each other around. Yeah,
Right.
really cool. Yeah.
So this is a very unusual piece, created especially as a tester to start with, and then going into the Fringe. And the plan is that maybe you'll go further with the show.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I think
So,
so.
yeah, see how the Fringe goes. And
Yeah.
It's a matter of actually getting some producers, overseas producers, national producers to come and have a look.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Yeah.
Come
Well,
and check it out.
we certainly hope that they have great success with the program, with the show, because it is something most unusual. I saw it last time and really enjoyed just watching something that moves so fast, and every time the stage went to black, something else came out of it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, very much.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, we'll be back in a moment to just say a final goodbye with the amazing Matt Gilbertson and Charlie, Kurt, Deruva, Ricky, and William with an N.
With an N.
Back soon. They're all back. The men who dance and Hans the German, better known to us.
The other man who
The other
dances.
man. Well, you do. What do we call you? Do we call you an actor, singer, dancer?
Wouldn't call me any of those things.
I was expecting you
All
to say
and
just
nothing.
No, I was expecting just call me fabulous.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Exactly. I
Okay.
like that. I might put that in. Like when you remember when
I'll
we
send
used to
you the
travel
account.
in internationally, and they said, "What's your occupation?"
Oh,
That's what
yes.
I've just put. Fabulous.
Fabulous. Yes, well, entertainer is the usual thing.
Entertainer.
And then they look at you, "No, really?
Yeah, exactly. That's meant to be
So,
entertaining.
for all of you, what does the Fringe really mean? How important is the Fringe to performers generally?
It usually means bankruptcy.
Well, it does if you're not a name.
Well,
Really?
it can. I mean, it's hard to, stand out from the crowd these days. But I do think a lot of the things that have always worked still work. I remember when we started, we
Entertainment.
were flyering everywhere.
Yeah.
We were performing at every opportunity. I think there are still things that you can do that, make
Just
you
to
stand out
capture
from
the
crowd.
public's attention.
Absolutely.
What does it mean to you guys?
Well, the Fringe is huge. It's the second biggest Fringe in the world or something, isn't it?
Yep.
And it's in Adelaide, of all places. And we have a few different festivals and things here, and it's quite a small little place. I think
But
it's
your show is different because you've created the show. You guys
Yeah.
have created the show yourself.
that's true.
So this gives you a different sort of flavour. Charlie? To you?
I think it's just an opportunity to perform to more than just the Adelaide audience, because a lot of people come in from obviously different places. It's a bit different now with COVID, but I think just it's a great opportunity to really show, I guess the world, well, not at the moment, but Australia, what Adelaide has to offer as well as performers.
Yep. And
yeah.
also, if you are holidaying here, you get to see what Adelaide has to offer in all
Well,
the
yeah,
other-
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It puts arts at the forefront for even a month or couple of months, I think.
Well, the Fringe is the biggest earner in the entertainment industry in Australia, and we've got the figures for that. So it's really interesting to know that.
So where's the government funding? Come on.
Well, the government gets funded from the Fringe.
Yes.
Yes.
The whole state does.
Daruba, coming from India, did you know anything about the Fringe?
Well, I've heard about it. This is actually my first Fringe, so I'm very excited to see what it's actually
Wait,
like.
this one's going to be your first Fringe?
Yeah, and I'm
Oh my
performing in
God.
shows.
What a
two shows,
baptism
so I'm
of
looking forward
fire.
to it.
Oh my God,
I
Daruba.
was here in 2019 for like 2 days. I saw it all opening up and stuff, but like it was very different to what I'm expecting this time.
Yeah.
And especially, I would have been interested to see what it's like before COVID.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, well,
went
before
off.
COVID, quite interesting.
Yeah.
But that's as quite interesting as we can be on this particular program. Thank you very much, Matt.
My
Thanks,
pleasure.
guys.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
We'll see you next week on Our Time, where we have some more Fringe news and some more people from the Fringe to meet. Until then, keep yourself nice. Bye.
Bye.